Hello friends, in previous video we have discussed about the structure of a C program. In this video we will discuss 3 to 4 small programs to understand the structure of a C program. So let us consider this first program. This first program is to print hello world. Dear friends, I am using a online compiler and debugger for C programming language, and this is online GDB and it is a beta version. You can also use this one as per your requirement. So this is not any advertisement. In order to do it online, I am using this particular device, compiler. So our main intention over here is to write a program to print hello world. So this is the structure as we have discussed. So include stdio.h, then int main, return type is int, then there is a opening bracket and there is a closing brace. Instead of bracket, we'll say it is a brace, curly brackets. So here our intention is very easy, very small. So just I want to display hello world message to all. So what we have to do is, so the function that displays the thing is the printf function and an opening bracket parenthesis. So there will be some compilers wherein you have to enter the closing parenthesis separately, but over here it is taking it directly, and then we should have a double quotes, and inside the double quotes we should write hello world. Hello world. So this is a very small program. Now if I run it, let us see what happens. So there is a option run here. So over here if we'll run it, so whenever you run a program, the program must be syntactically true, syntactically correct. Okay, now here it is showing one error. So what is an error is, so every programming language has some format and you have to follow that particular format. Okay, so now at the end of every statement, you have to give a semicolon, and I have missed out giving a semicolon over here. So if I give a semicolon over here, so again after that if I try to run this particular program, at the time you find that the program has successfully written hello world over here. This is the output screen. The below is the output screen, and the upward at the upward way is the programming screen. So everything can be seen on a same screen. Now in this particular printf, if you want to write something into the new line, so let me write another printf statement here. Let us write welcome to prepare for programming. Prepare for, say, programming. So over here again I have to give the semicolon, and if I try to run this particular program, what is happening is, let us see what is happening. So see here, everything is coming in the same line. Even though I am writing these two statements in the two different lines, everything is coming in the same line. So if you want to bring the next statements onto the next lines, at that time the option you have is \n. If you do this, and here if you save it, it will be hello world and welcome to the prepare for programming. So whenever you want to do it for the next line, in between if you write somewhere here, if you write \n, so it is new line. Okay, and if now I'll try to run this, what I'll find is, so wherever there is \n, a new line is entered. You are going to go to the new line. So meanwhile output comes. So here is the output. So hello world, welcome to prepare, and after the prepare again there is a \n for the program. So in this way you can go on adding the output statements. Printf is always called as an output statement, whatever that is printed out at the output. So this is the output screen. Okay, so this is the simple program that we have seen. Let us, after this, let me save this one, and let us consider another example. Save this. Yes, I'll save it. Now it is in my, you can save it in online also. In online it is saved, and then we can start a new uh, file, and I will give the new file name as add. So now this new file, in this particular new file, I want to write a program to add two numbers. So let us say uh, so the file name that is given here now is add.c. So this program for adding two numbers. Now here, see, in the same way, so there will be some hash include stdio.h. is to be given, and then we can start with the main. Whenever required, you can give the comments as we have already discussed. Opening bracket. Now the uh, declaration. So you want to add two numbers. So you want, let us say you want to add two integers. So in A, B, and you want to store the results into the C. And after declaring this, we have to give the semicolon, because at the end of the statement always there should be a semicolon. Then I will prompt the user to read the values. So printf enter the values of A and B. Enter the values of A and B, and at the end we have to give the semicolon. So this is the this statement will print this message onto the output screen. Now you are prompting the user to enter two values. Okay, you want the user to enter two values. So here it is scanf, and the format is something like this: opening bracket and two this one two symbols %d inside. So with the, you can give the space over there, you can do it without the space. Okay, so two values for one. First %d means I want to read first value, and second %d is I want to read second value. That is, here I want to read two values, two integer values. Whenever it is d, always remember that it is integer values, and where I want to read the values at the address of A and at the address of B. So address of A comma address of B, and address of A and B is represented by ampersand symbol. Okay, now here I want to calculate C is equal to A plus B. So mathematically you can write it as C is equal to A plus B. So at the A, whatever the first value is read, whatever the second value is read at the B, and both of these will be added and the result will be stored at C. Now I want to print the result. So printf sum of so now if again you are here, you want to print the values of A and B, at that time again you can write it as %d and %d is %d. So is C, and here after that you have to mention here what is first %d is for A, the second %d is for B, and the third %d is for C, and at the end of that you have to give the semicolon. And you have to always take care that you always return some value, return 0. You can mention return 0. Okay, no problem, and return 0. And then let us try to execute this program. So this program is for adding two numbers, simplest program we have considered. So when we run it, you can see here, so there is you should write your main function only in main.c or main.cpp. Okay, so now what I will do is I will copy all this one completely, whatever the program that I want to execute, I will bring it to main.c, and over here I will write the program. I'll type the program here. So since it is a online compiler, it wants me to write the program into the main function only. So I am here now, taken everything over here, and now I will try to run. So here there is some there is some error, and the error is this one, that is the statement should be printf, not print. Okay, again let us try to run this. Whatever the mistakes I have done, the compiler will help me to identify all the errors. So now there are again some more errors. So let me see what are the errors. We take it. So now I had deleted that add.c file because compiler was not supporting it. So I have deleted that, and after that it is giving me some message now. So I will rerun it. You can see here. So I'll stop running it first, and then we'll rerun it. So run, and over here you can see that main is executing. So enter the values of a and b. So let us enter 7 and 9. So you have to enter it in this way, 7 space 9. Okay, and press the enter button on your keyboard. So once you press the enter button on your keyboard, the answer is, you can see, sum of %d and %d. So %d is the first value, that is 7, %d is the second value, that is 9, is %d, that is 16. So here there is no space. If you at all want to give a space, here you have to provide a particular space. So if you run it once again, and if you give the same input, so 7 and 9, now you can see the difference, that in there is a space between is and 16. So this is how you can go on writing the programs. Let us write another, the program to check whether a given number is even or odd. So program for, so over here I will make the changes. Program for, I will delete all these things. Okay, save it first. Saved. Let us write another program. Let's write another program for checking out even or odd, whether the given number is even or odd. The given number is, or let us take a simple one, whether the given number is positive or negative. Positive or negative. Again, so what is the logic? What is the logic here is going to happen is, first of all we are going to read a number from the user, and then we are going to check whether the number is less than 0. If it is less than 0, it is going to be a negative, and if the number is greater than 0, it is going to be a positive. So the logic is very simple. Whenever a problem is asked to you, whenever a program is asked to you, first you have to define the logic of that. Again, in the next video lecture I will be taking some complicated programs, and first we will discuss the logic of that, and then we will be writing the program for that. For now, let us write this particular program. So here I want to read one number. So int, I will say n is a number which I want to check whether it is a positive number or negative number. Again, we will, let us prompt the user, printf enter the number. Okay, then semicolon at the end, then scanf. We have to read that particular number, so for that purpose we use a function scanf. So scanf, and we want to read it as a integer value, so for that purpose it will be %d, comma, will be ampersand n. So n is a number, and then a semicolon. And here I am going to use a what you can say, decision statement. So we are going to use if statement here. So if that value is less than 0, negative; if that is greater than value, it is positive, and this is called as decision statement. So if the format of if statement is if, here I have to give the condition if n is less than 0. If n is less than 0, then it is printf double quotes. You have to write it inside the double quotes always. It's negative. And if that is not odd case, you can say that it is positive. So if condition is not true, you can directly consider it else. Printf it's positive. So let us try to run this program. There could be some errors. So there is no error. Luckily there is no error because I have taken care of semicolons and all. So now it is asking for a number. So the number I enter is 13. So let us say I enter a number 13. Okay, number that we enter is 13. I hope it is visible to you on the screen. And the instance we press enter, it gives that it's positive. It means that 13 is a positive number. If we execute it for another time, and we give number as -10, at that time the output should be its negative. So this is how this particular program is been implemented. So whenever a program, always remember, whenever a program is given to you, you have to always think of the logic of that, and then you have to start implementing it. From the next lecture, in the next lecture I will be discussing the points on the slides, and then I will be giving the program of that. And then I would like to request you, if you want to directly communicate with me, you can follow the channel link that is provided below. So that is the Telegram link. Also I have given the link of other some of my videos. So what you can do is you can follow all that links. For example, I have created the lessons for computer algorithms. If you want to learn about the complexity of the algorithms, if you want to learn about the sorting algorithms, if you want to learn about the searching algorithms, so all these things already are there on my channel. The link to that is already provided in the description section of this particular video. So I would like to request you to follow the particular links. Along with that, I will be taking some direct interactive sessions for the complex programs, and if you want to get joined to that, please join my Telegram channel, wherein I'll be interacting with you all, wherein I'll be giving you the Google Meet link, and we will be interacting on the Google Meet. Okay, so thank you for attending this second lecture on prepare yourself for campus placement.